And we're live.
Yay, we're live.
Hey! Wooting live.
Oh,
It might be glitchy.
yes.
It's the way of life. It's the way of life.
Oh, that's actually horrible.
Is it really glitchy? Is it glitching now?
Not at the moment.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Because I don't know exactly why, but it has to do with how OBS records Skype. So I'm just going to put chat on my mobile and make sure that the stream will just stay stable, hopefully. There we go.
Yes. Well, I'm at home at the moment because the internet in the office went down. So I rushed home to be here behind my laptop. It's not the office though.
Finally, we can see
Yeah.
a piece of Eric's home. Magnificent
I
door in
think
a
I've seen.
closet.
I don't live always in the office. I'm there often, but not always. It's kind of funny. Yeah. I think I streamed from my house a few times in the past, but normally I have like this bookshelf behind me. Yeah. But today this is the setup, and I have to live with it.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so
Yes. So I'm trying to get used to the setup here. Okay. So today
okay.
today's live stream. So in last live stream we also introduced this new way of doing the live stream. It's going to be the same way this time, which is we're going to have three main topics we're going to talk about. After each topic, we're open for a few questions. And at the end of the live stream, we have open session where we go through all the questions, whatever kind of, or about whatever topics. Uh, so in the meanwhile, definitely you can throw in questions, even if it's not 100% related to topic, but let's try to stay on topic. And everything that's not related to topic will be thrown to the end, unless we deem it important enough. So the topics we have today. So the topics we have today is first we're going to talk about well, guess one time, as the warm-up conversation, the Wristrest.
Yes.
Yeah, because we just launched the Wristrest, of course, and want to share a little bit, of course, about how the launch was. The second is about the alpha, utility alpha release with full programmability. We're going to go through the alpha version of the utility. That will be the beef of the stream. And then the last one will be going through the Lekker edition update, for which we haven't sent out a newsletter, I just realized, which we would do this week, which didn't happen because of the Wristrest. So, uh, yeah. But
Yeah.
that gives us an opportunity to also explain how to do the Wristrest of the Lekker edition together for the people that are still waiting for that. So it's actually a good opportunity for that together. Yeah. Um, So maybe let's start. So let's before we go into the Wristrest, want to check for a moment how chat is doing. I mean, how many people are in right now? How are people
34.
doing in the chat?
I mean, everybody's always doing fine.
Yeah, just
It's
wanna.
nice to see some familiar faces here.
It's nice.
See Amy, not Daryl, Quinn. Rogier Hofboer.
Is chat
Big name.
talking, or is my phone just not updating? Is everybody so silent?
Everybody's silent
Jesus, guys.
except for Daryl.
Hello, hello. Yes, thank you. Empty inside. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Hello, Pritsup. Okay. Okay, good, good. We're waiting for the word of God. Okay. Here's the
Well,
first
talking
relevant
about the
question,
word of
Eric.
God.
Do you guys play chess? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so let's just start with we do you play chess, Eric?
Do I play chess? Yeah, I play chess. I play auto chess, team fight tactics.
So the Lekker timeline update and Corona will be at the end of the live stream. That will be the third, not at the end, sorry. It will be the third topic. New ideas, products. That can be open topic. There is actually a secret project we're working on. And I think now, yeah.
There's always a
There's always
secret
a secret
project
project we're working on. It used to be the Wristrest, now it's something else. But remember that for nearing the end, because it's related to the coronavirus, because now it's become even more important. So I think that's interesting.
So
I find it interesting. First topic, right? You're going to
just
bookmark it,
ruin
yeah?
a nice bridge towards the wrist rest. You had one, very nice, but you
Yeah, I
ruined it.
know, shit. Well, yeah, can you mark this, Eric? Then I don't
Can I
have to
mark
touch the
this?
controls. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's mark this.
sure. Let's.
Wooting
How do we mark stuff?
foot rest.
Foot rest? No, not stuff. Edit stream info.
I think it's like add marker of description. Yes, not Daryl. This is for you, man. Make sure we mark it. Did you add the timestamps on YouTube from the last live stream? Not Daryl. I will check on you. I will check on you.
Add stream marker with description. Let's go.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
Pro gamer. Okay, good job, pro gamer.
Let's go.
Okay, Wristrest. Right. So we finally launched the Wristrest last Tuesday, and we had originally planned to launch the Wristrest like in January. Before that was in December. That was the original plan. Original plan was first wanted to release in December, but then we had to rework the mold, and production took a lot longer. And then we eventually were able to ship everything out before Chinese New Year in January. Then we received the goods in the US, which was great, but the goods in Europe were stuck at customs, if you guys remember, and we're like delaying it week by week because we wanted to immediately ship on launch. But thankfully, last week I was able to get in contact again with our forwarder. He was able to release the goods this week from customs in Europe. So we had some kind of confirmation that it was in Europe and that it is on its way, which made us feel more confident to do the launch already, because we also don't want to wait very long with the Wristrest launch, because it's also stopping us from doing the follow-up steps for like listing the product elsewhere and trying to find other ways to promote the product. And it's a new product. It's a lot of fun for us also to do some marketing for it. And it really sucked to have everything ready and not being able to launch. So we launched it Tuesday, and I think how are we doing with the sales, Eric?
Perfect. I mean, it's never enough, right? But to be honest, I'm quite surprised, because normally when we well, in the past when we launched a product, most of the time it went into pre-orders. Now it's still sort of a pre-order in Europe, which is kind of a shame, because that's something we really wanted to avoid, but we also didn't want to delay it any further. But normally it was like a more hype around it. So it's like, oh, next Wednesday at this time, we're gonna, we can start purchasing it. And then in the beginning we had like a very big boom. And now it was like, okay, let's send it to email, make a Discord announcement, and boom. And of course we still sold a bunch, but I think creating a hype and at the special date, it was like even more fun, because then we were all there together and we knew like, oh, everybody's gonna purchase it. That's cool. But then again, I can't complain with how many people bought the Wristrest. And the one thing that really surprised me was, I mean, people in the US can already receive it, right? And I think the day was it on Wednesday, or was it the first day?
Yeah, they received
Wednesday
like
evening,
next
right?
day or something already.
Yeah.
One
So
person,
Wednesday
which
evening,
he must have done like expedited shipping and everything, because
yeah.
US usually takes longer. So
So it was very cool to see the first Wristrest out there.
yeah,
But then again, I know probably multiple people now have received the Wristrest, and besides a few people, we haven't got any real feedback or like, oh,
yeah,
this is great, or oh, this sucks, And so it's still kind of, it doesn't feel like we actually launched it.
yeah.
Um, but I think over the weekend, when more people receive it, we will get more response. And as soon as we start the European shipment, we will probably get more feedback or reviews or whatever. And that's very excited because I'm very curious what people think about the Wristrest, the first impressions, and after a few days of use. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to get feedback. I'm really like, I'm waiting for the moment we'll see more pictures on Wood Station. Also, if you receive the Wristrest, throw a picture on Wood Station. I know we probably have a lot more people from Europe watching the stream right now, and not US. I think they're waiting. They'll probably enter like 2 hours later or something. Um, but also when we start shipping in Europe and you receive the Wristrest, really, really post pictures and give feedback, because right now for us also is the moment to, get some critical feedback and see what we can do to improve the product itself before we do a next production. The second thing is also we can prevent maybe certain confusions when you receive the product or use the product, or when you're, I don't know, when you're placing the orders. Or for example, in the US, we had like there was this one guy who ordered two wristrests, but he received two huge boxes filled with airbags, with one wristrest in each box. And I'll tell you now is that, well, we only paid for one-time shipping for this to the fulfillment center. We didn't pay like two times shipping or something like that. The problem is that the SOP, so I checked with the fulfillment center based on this, because I also noticed there are two tracking numbers for a lot of double orders, or sorry, multiple quantity orders. And I checked with the fulfillment center, and it basically said if the product is larger than 17-inch or higher value than 2,500 or something else, they split the order into another box with tracking number. And but you could see from the picture was that the wristlets would like had still like, I don't know, a centimeter or two space. It was like diagonally put into the
Mhm.
box. I think they could have even put it in flat, but it still had like a couple centimeters space at the head, I think, but definitely enough space to put in another one. Um, so I sent them an email on the pictures and also explained like, yeah, this is really not like, efficient at all. So, and to see if what we can do about it. So that was one of the things, for example. Um, but other than that,
And
yeah.
one of the reasons we made the box so tight and fitting for the wrist rest is like, okay, let's try to save as much on shipping and everything, and then seeing these big boxes, that's so insane.
Yeah, yeah, I've never seen this before. It's so stupid. It like you would think, at least at the warehouse, it should be like you have like the operators in the warehouse, basically to just follow the system, right? Scan and just look at the screen, what's next, right? And just like, don't care about anything. But if there would have been any kind of like I think they throw it under Seven Stigma or Seven Sigma. It's part of Seven Sigma. I think it's a part of a lot of the different business model. I mean, process models but basically from Japan, which is an operator would raise his hand or sound like a certain, not an alarm, but like notify the manager or something, say like, hey, look, this is not going right with this order. This is very inefficient. This needs to be improved. You know what I mean? But that just doesn't happen apparently. So and Tino says, the person knows somebody person at Sweetwater Logistics. So we don't use Sweetwater Logistics anymore. Now we use EasyPost to do our fulfillment. We switched, and now everything goes automatic, so we don't need to touch anything. And it's really great. It has some caveats, like checking in is pretty slow. Sometimes it kind of sucks um, the way they do certain processes, but in general, it's really convenient.
It's pretty
And
smooth sailing. And
yeah,
don't worry, Tino, you're not getting any free one by one boxes because in Europe, you and I, we're going to pack it ourselves and we have some very efficient packing going on. And you will probably, because you ordered free, right? You will probably just get it in the same box, Wooting 2 ships in, like the shipping box, not the Wooting 2 box, but yeah, nothing crazy, believe me.
yeah, yeah. So I think then when the question comes like, when can you expect your wrist rest in Europe? So we have this UPS tracking number, which does the last, which basically uh, does the last mile before it reaches our warehouse in the Netherlands. And that one hasn't updated yet, and still needs to receive the goods in Germany. So apparently the goods went in through Poland and was stuck at Poland at customs. Really, the forwarder we've used this time is like Magic Man. I've like really no clue because we have other shipment that goes through Belgium, so whatever. Um, anyway, yeah, it hasn't arrived in Germany yet. But any day now that tracking number will update, and then 1 maybe 2 days from then we'll have it in the Netherlands. So I'm hoping we have it on the 26th, that we can start shipping on 26. It should be a reasonable estimation, but we just said within 2 weeks just to be safe. Yeah, let's just take them to. I
And
think
I think another cool thing to see is that the products are selling very fast from the Wristrest, right? Because I think in Europe we are the Wristwests that came by plane, we already added those to the store and people could buy them. And I think the full size is almost sold out, which is a very cool thing, like the full size black version. But luckily, the boat shipment is also coming in pretty soon, so uh, we will also add new stock to the European store. But it's
yeah,
very cool to see how fast it went.
exactly it's what Tino says. Nothing to declare, officer. Proceeds into the plane with 3 pallets of wrist vests. Like, I think actually that's what I think my forwarder does. Not like when we go to do it ourselves. Um, let's see,
Like
but
smuggle the Wristwest.
yeah, I have to be honest that with the coronavirus stuff going on and the Vistas moving, well, at least just to see. I mean, we still need to do a good study of how the sales are going. I mean, we have like a general number, and I think it's going. Is it going up to expectations? We have until Sunday. We haven't reached our milestone yet, right? Our goal yet, basically.
Well, I mean, we had a goal for the first week, and we haven't reached it yet. But the first week
Yeah.
isn't over yet, so
No, so we still have a couple of days. But until so far, it looks like we can be satisfied regardless, because even if we don't reach the goal, we can still throw it on different models. So, and
and Frezo makes the best point here, like the pain point we had all week, and we all also discussed very heavily internally. I really want to order wristbands, but I can't justify paying double the price of it with the shipping. And that's a very interesting topic in itself, right? Because sure, we really want to offer free or very cheap shipping, but the thing with the wristbands what we now do with shipping is we just let people pay the shipping price we pay for, and
it's a one-on-one cost
yeah,
translation. There's
one on
no
one.
like deduction, no add-in, no add-on. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it feels extra bad. And then we almost changed the price to 35 euros and downgraded the shipping with 5 euros. But then again, it's kind of the same. It just has a more positive feeling towards it because, yeah, like you said, you're not gonna pay double the price of shipping for the wrist rest.
I think that's
And
also
that's
the funny part always is that if we would have priced, let's say an extreme example, right? Shipping is 15 euros, product is like 30 euros. We could have also then just made the product 40 euros and make shipping like 5 euros. And the net result is the same, but your perception will be different because it's like you're first going through the process of, is it worth my 40 euros, right? And as soon as the answer is yes, shipping will not stop you anymore. Well,
no,
versus uh, is this worth my 30 euros? And your answer is yes, right? And then all of a sudden, shipping 15 euros. Ooh, calculation you had 50% of the product price, and you have to do like a reevaluation. Do I want to waste 15 euros on something that I physically don't receive? Has no added value, just delivered to my home? No. Uh, and that's kind of a dilemma. But do we have any? We at this moment when it comes to solutions, right? So we've been thinking about instead of increasing the euro price. I mean, there's still a chance, but we really want to keep it 30 euros or under because we really
Hmm.
believe that will also do well for Amazon, for example. And Amazon will definitely have better shipping prices than we can get. So,
Yeah.
and especially if we stock locally in Amazon, in Germany and in the UK, for example, it will make a difference. Um, then the second thing is that we're looking at if it's it right now, depending on the sales rate, right? We're looking at maybe there are some key markets. For example, we can share that Finland and Denmark we can consider a key market with similar shipping rates. Um, that we will say, okay, let's just take a lower profit on it, and we just take we don't take a loss on the product of obviously, but we take a really small profit on the product in favor of moving quantities. But right now, that's why the reason why we're not doing that right now is because if we run out of stock very fast, we can't restock within a very short time because of the virus and because there's a long production process, but especially because of the virus. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Calder, what's up with your os fingers?
Uh, those are things used for us. Well, it's funny. Yenny already said like, what if they see it on the stream? And I was like, well, you know, whatever.
It's very hip and
But
cool these days, right? I mean, most magicians use nail polish to show their hands. You know, it's like, hey, this is my tricksy.
Yenny is training, and she trained on my nails. Yeah. So we have here like
Oh,
a
looks
solid blue, and here's
looks beautiful.
like a peachy or gradient to white blue. Yeah, this one. Can you see it well? Is it clear?
Yeah, os
Yeah.
fingers,
Okay.
nice. I like the grading one more, I guess.
Yeah, I like the gradient one more too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Okay,
so that's
so
Yenny's work. So she's training on my fingers.
yes. I think we should round up the whole Wristrest part here. I mean, if
Yeah.
somebody has questions about the
Yeah, that's
Wristrest,
seriously, yeah. Is
let's
there any question for wrist vests?
if you guys are out there from, go order the Wristrest. That's interesting.
What?
Go order the Wristrest.
Go order the wrist vest?
Yeah, what Fraser says. If
Oh, I just
anyone
see it
out there
now.
from Scania, southern Sweden, Copenhagen would like to co-order, I mean, co-ordering isn't a bad idea. Well, you can
We can
also
do
pick
like a
it up,
small
right?
group buy.
Happens.
I mean, just organize like a small group buy, and we can just and then you just need one organizer. Yeah, or it needs yeah because there's no way we can get it cheaper individually anyway. We would have to need one organizer, but then local shipping needs to be like super much better, or you need to live close to each other. Yeah.
So is there a date for the Wristpress on Amazon? Well, the thing is, we really want to do it as soon as possible. There are only two minor things that could be major things. So before we want to put it on Amazon, we really want to have the boat shipment here in the Netherlands. I'm guessing you're talking about Amazon Germany. We really want to have the boat shipment here in the Netherlands so we have more stock. And then also put it on the same time on Amazon. But let's say we only, well, people order so many and we don't have that much stock to put on Amazon, then it will have to wait a little while until we
Yeah.
can do a new production. And that's sort of dependent on the whole coronavirus. But how things are now looking, I think within a month, it will probably be on Amazon.
Yeah.
2 3 weeks.
If we're able to do a production and it can be delivered within the next half year, then we would most definitely put it on Amazon, no questions asked. If that's not the case, it's going to be big doubt because we don't want to lose margin on Amazon commissions um, when we have a finite stock. So yeah, so we'll see about that. And then the question about you want to order the Wristfest and ship it with the Lekker edition. How about that? Yeah, so we For now, you just have to wait, and we'll send out an email with instructions about how you can add it to your Lekker edition order, and you'll have the discount anyway. It's just that right now we haven't really agreed yet on how we're going to approach it because it's there's some back end hassle. Right now, if you would place an order, it would include the shipping cost, for example, and it's a real hassle to just refund the shipping and then add it to your Lekker edition order, and there's a lot of manual work. So we're kind of figuring out what is like the most effective way of doing it, and it probably will come down to something like that since the Lekker edition it has like a limited amount of people and of those people, not everybody will want to buy the Wristrest. Probably something like contacting us, and then we'll send out a custom invoice through the shop, and after payment, we manually attach it to the original order or something like that. Assuming that we'll have not more than 100 or something people doing this. Yeah,
Well, we'll see. It's
we'll
something
see.
that's coming
Yeah.
up, but more information on that soon. So, but if you don't want to, well, if you order Lekker edition and you really want the Wristrest now, better to order it now and bleed the shipping fees. But if you can wait for the Wristrest to be delivered together with your keyboard, then you just have to wait a tiny bit longer.
Yeah.
But you have to wait anyway, so it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, most likely anybody that orders it with the Lekker edition, that stock, we have to like separate it.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
if we have
Nice.
two, yeah. All
Congratulations.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on then to the second topic, and the mouse question is for open sessions. Uh, let's move on to the next topic then.
Oh, that stream marker. Yes.
Stream marker.
Remap. Are we ready?
Well,
It's done. The marker is here.
okay. Well, if I share my screen, they won't be able to see you though.
Okay, that's fine. I'll be the hidden voice.
Okay. So the next topic is about full programmability. So recently, like recently, Jeroen released or yesterday, no, today, right? Jeroen
Today.
released the alpha version of the utility, and it's now available on Discord in the alpha channel, the utility alpha channel. If you don't see that channel, that's probably because you need to have an invite, I think, a special role to see that channel. But we only want to have active people on the utility alpha channel. So if you're just, planning to jump in and try it out and then, not give any feedback or not do anything with it, then you're not really welcome on the alpha channel. That's kind of the thing here.
It's an exclusive club.
It's exclusive, yeah. So then you'll have to wait until it releases in beta. Well, let me transition here. Boop. Okay.
And special thanks to everybody who already gave a lot of feedback on the alpha version. Looking at you, Tino, Hockey, Tiny Dutch, if he's here.
You mean Cross VS also? The new
Darren.
the new Darren, Cross VS.
The new Darren. He also gave quite a bunch of feedback.
Okay, so here's the. Oh shit! Now my camera's in front of it. See if we can do this. We have the. This is okay. There we go. So you can see it's scalable. You see that everything just became a lot smaller. Shit. See, wow, you can scale. So this is the alpha version. And do you want to say? I mean, I'll do some basic stuff first, and then maybe you want to share some stuff that's still missing, Eric, in general. Because there was just a couple of things that still need to be done, right? Other than the feedback that we're getting.
It's function lock. That's the major thing that everybody's missing.
Function lock. All right. Okay. Yeah. Or function toggle, function lock.
Yeah.
So the major change it's a bit weird that I'm doing the utility stuff now, but the major change in the new utility. So obviously that now we have the remapping feature, and the remapping feature made a fundamental change to how the keyboard works. So before, the Wooting keyboard worked in the way that you had one layer that was not programmable, and if you pressed function, it would kind of like activate a special key. But now we've actually made the keyboard into two layers. So now when you press function, you have actually access to a second layer. And this is a big difference because that means that it's kind of like having a second profile inside your profile, because now you have two layers on your keyboard, and you can map each layer to whatever you want. And once function lock or toggle, whatever we want to name it now, is ready, you can actually decide which layer is your default layer. So usually your first layer, which is this layer, is your default layer. When you press the FN key, it will, while holding down the FN key, you'll have access to the second layer. But let's say you have the function lock and you press function lock, it will make your second layer the default layer. And then when you press the function key, you'll have access to the first layer. That's like a major difference in how the keyboard will work fundamentally. And then obviously with remapping, no, and the second thing is whatever you remap the keyboard to, whatever you map on your keyboard, it's for all the profiles. It's like universally. So
Yeah, global.
it's
So that
global.
also answers the question: can each profile have a different second layer, or is this global? It's global to your keyboard.
Yeah. I'm not if that will be different with Lekker Edition keyboards, not yet, but but the Lekker Edition would be able to do something like that too. Okay, so then for remapping, so we have down here, you can basically see all the buttons have been divided in different categories: basic characters, extended, special. I'll go into through the special ones later, and all the characters together. There's a search function also, so you can quickly find the keys you're looking for. I think I don't know if the search function might be missing some like multiple keywords that you would try to use.
Some yeah. So there's also with the search function. There we're now searching sort of on tags we have given the keys, and most of them work, not all. And there's also like a sort of language barrier, so that's something Jeroen has to make a bit smarter for the beta release. But the search function is there, but it will have some improvements. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So then now the key thing with the remapping, when we looked at what other software did with remapping, was either you had to like click on the button and then go through like a whole list of buttons that you could select, or I don't know, was an even worse one? Even worse is that maybe you have to go through this humongous list underneath of different keys and then somehow understand what everything is, and then also assigning a location for that key when you find it. And everything was just, in our opinion, everything was stupid, tedious, and not very user friendly. So now what we did for the utility is something totally, I think at least, different and not never done before for when it comes to keyboard configurators. Everything is drag and drop. Everything is drag and drop. So, for example, the spacebar, I can drag and I can just drop it here and it switches places. But maybe I don't want the right shift anymore. I can just drag it out and it's gone. Oh, I am missing my shift. Let's look it up and let's just drag it back in. So maybe there's like a special character I like using a lot. So let's say I'm very much a calculator guy. I can store the special character in my storage box. So now I can just quickly access my storage box and place the calculator anywhere I want. So I can jump into my second layer, I can place this here. So now if I press FN and this is like 0, I think, it will open my calculator. But if I would have pressed FN lock, all my keys, all my keys would have been blank, and I would just have a calculator here and some media keys here. Now, another essential difference is we, you know, now you have like FN Windows key, for example, to lock the Windows key is how what we're calling it, where you can lock the Windows key, so the Windows key will not activate. But you can't do it with the right window key, which sucks, right? So what we've done now is instead of saying, instead of like having this like fixed function, we just have a function you can map called keylock. So now I can move keylock here, for example, for my right Windows key. And now if I press FN Windows key, uh, it actually activates keylock, which disables the key on the first layer. And I can put keylock on anywhere. So in this way, I can quickly disable keys whenever I want.
I'm now thinking about a feature. What would be really cool, and it probably won't happen, is if you alt drag a key that you already copy it instead of just moving it. That would be cool, right?
Oh, from here you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
that would
and please
indeed be
be very
awesome.
careful with the on-off button when you map that one, because your PC will shut down instantly. Oops. No
So
warning
this button
whatsoever.
here, and I guess this is part like this. These don't have a lot of descriptions, and I'm not sure how you guys are planning to tackle it.
Well, there's like an issue we're walking into, right? And it's sort of a technical issue. So let's say you hover over the forward and backward next to save to keyboard. You get a little tooltip, right? And that's also something we introduced towards the keys underneath there. But
Wait.
there is an issue with z-index and being in child diffs, and the way we build it is that it displays buggy here. And last Wednesday, when Jeroen was at my office, we discussed this for a great bunch, tried to find a solution, but we couldn't really find a fast, suitable solution for this. So we just thought like, okay, it is a nice to have during the beta. So for the alpha, we skipped it, but it's also still something we're looking into, and hopefully we can find a very technically correct solution for this. Yeah.
Maybe we can have like on the knowledge base for now a small index of what each key does.
Maybe.
Just like some people, like you have also F13 up to F24, which you can use to bind semi macros or macros with auto hotkey, but you can basically bind anything to F keys, for example, and then map them anywhere. So also, we've had this function for a long time, but not everybody realized it. But you want to move the media keys to the first layer, right? You can also just use, so what you could do, and this is the last thing, there are a lot of default there's a lot of presets that we've added and we'll start adding over time. So let's say on the second layer, I can make this actually the same as my default layer, like my first layer. Let's reset this one. And then I can go to special characters. And now for my second layer, I can start mapping those media keys. And then now I can choose to play on my first layer, or I can press the function lock, and then wherever my media keys are will become the first layer keys, while the rest of the keyboard is the same, for example. So that's many ways now that you can use the keyboard. And this one, this is a special layout that Erik made.
So what is your favorite preset color?
Well, actually, I don't have a favorite. Well, I really, first, when I saw ABC, I was like, why? Like, what is that, you know? But it's so useless, but it's so cool. At first, I was like, do you mean something different with it? No, 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 yeah, no, it's actually ABC. So yeah, has become my favorite. I can't type for shit with it though.
I don't know. I'm a lead speed guy. That's my thing. It improves
Uh,
my gaming so much. I can trash talk even better now. Yes, exactly. Cross. I'm gonna call you Cross from now on. Darren doesn't exist anymore.
Hello, Winter. Yes.
Okay,
Okay, let's
so
do
let's
some.
go through a few questions I saw
Yes.
coming by. So here, Hofboer, what toolkit do you guys use for the cross-platform UI? I think it's already answered was Electron. Yeah, we use Electron. It's a very nice platform based on Chromium, and it's easy to build for all the major platforms. Mick
Oh,
is asking, can we map emojis? No,
actually, hey,
because
I forgot something super essential. Yeah.
okay,
Before you go through another question, sorry, we haven't talked about this at all. But look, if you're mapping stuff, right, there's two things. One, it's immediately saved. Like this is great, right? It just saved on your keyboard immediately. Like you don't need to press anything. But obviously, you would say,
that's
"Oh,
not
that's
true.
annoying because I made a mistake," right? Or "Oops," right? Oh, I don't want to find those back. Well, just Command, or this in this case, Command Z or Control Z it, boop, and it goes back. It goes a step back. You want to go a step forward? I think it's Control Shift on Windows, Z, and then you go forward.
Well, you're saying it's not being saved actually on your keyboard when you swap it around here, but in the top right corner, the button will become green. So you know, like I have to press this before these changes are active on my keyboard. And because you don't have a keyboard connected, you cannot save the keyboard at this
Yeah,
point.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay, sorry. Go to the next question.
okay, Myra, when a key is keylocked, can it be set up to change the LED color like caps lock and numlock do? At the moment, no, no,
It's a good point, though.
but
I don't think
maybe.
we really thought about that.
No, we haven't really thought about it. And what Red Hub asks, can you replace caps lock and turn the LED off when pressed? Um, sure, you can turn the LED off when pressed. You can do it within the main utility, but I'm not sure if it will also work on the key where you bind it in your caps lock. That's also something we have to discuss with you. Can't give a real answer on that. Winterjas, hey, can I order both a Lekker and a Wristrest at the same time? Yes, you can.
You actually, when you order a Wooting keyboard and add a Wristrest, you automatically get the discount. So you don't need to put in any discount code or something.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the emoticons, no, at this moment you cannot buy an emoticons towards the keyboard because emoticons are out of the HID spec, and we only try to focus on keys that are within the HID spec here.
It's too bad, though.
Yes,
What you could do,
it's too bad.
what you could do is make a hotkey for F13 to F24
Yes.
to an emoticon, and then you just bind it. So you have an emoticon, you bind it to F13, and then F13 essentially is your emoticon. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, and I guess that's it about remapping. It will become, well, first we have to process all the feedback we got from the alpha channel, and as soon as we've fixed some bug fixes, implemented some great feedback, then it will go into beta, and then the whole world can profit from this. And it's funny because when we actually started working on it a while ago, I was thinking like, oh, what's the actual use there? Because like a very niche thing for people to change the whole layout, or only to do it just for the caps lock escape thing that you hear often, or the control caps lock swap. But the more I played with it, I actually found it's very useful and cool, and the things that you can set up with. It's yeah. It's also especially for your browsing. I mean, it's very easy to change, go forward, backward, refresh the page, and sure you can do with all kinds of things. But now you sort of have the freedom to set up your own keyboard the way you like it, and
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Especially you can change little things that maybe there's something annoying you, you feel the freedom, you can just quickly change it. And
Yeah.
that's for the way I see it, at least, is that the coolest thing is just that if I'm just thinking in my mind, any other keyboard that I know that I've ever used also, and I'm like, okay, remapping a key, right? It's not like the first thing isn't like, that would be useful if I change the key to this, right? It would be like, oh my God, such a drag to go through the freaking UI to change the key, right? I'll just accept it for what it is. Yeah. And it's like really lazy, man. But the reality is like, that's like, I think how the majority of people are. Like, if it's too much of a drag to change stuff, you're just gonna accept whatever it is right now, unless it's like a real issue. Yeah.
And this UI is also very cool to play around with because you can make Wooting logos, smileys on your keyboard, remove all the keys and use some cool icons to fill in everything and make some cool drawings. It's just fun to play around with the whole drag and drop feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So do we have any more last questions for the alpha, utility alpha?
No, everybody loves it. Next topic. Boom.
Hey, get the description ready, guys. Big Brain AFK says yes. Is that like agreeing
No,
with Red Hub? But prepare the next topic. Prepare the next topic.
next topic. Oh yeah, stream marker was Lekker
Stream
edition,
marker.
right? And the virus.
Yes. We're gonna go through the Lekker edition update. I'm gonna see if I can just, if you stall a little bit, then I'm gonna see.
Marker's already there, caller. Should start now.
Uh-oh,
Should start.
but I just wanted to add you to, I can add you. I have like a little Erik here.
Nice.
Yeah, this is nice. We're just gonna do it like this. Okay, let's transition.
Where's my little Erik?
Yeah. Oh, here. Now it's little Erik with us.
Woo! Insane.
Oh, now wait, like this. Oh, oh, hey Erik, hey, hey.
I'm the little puppet man. Okay, that's hardcore.
Uh,
Okay.
okay, so let's get into the Lekker edition stuff. So, what is it? Oh, 13th of February. Whoa, huh? It's already a week now? Almost a week?
Yes.
It's a week now,
Yes.
yeah. We released a new update on the Lekker edition. We threw it on Discord and the social channels, but there's been no newsletter, so you might have missed it. The newsletter is coming out next week by email if you have a Lekker edition. But basically, in this update, we went through three things. We had the new cable samples, something that we were previously not planning to really do, the cable, or not to this extent at least. Then we have the new Lekker switch. Did we show the switch on the stream, right? Yeah, last Friday.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also talked about the coronavirus impacting the progress. And now that I think about it, this is something we covered also in the last stream, but now we're a week further, and there's more details here on the cable. But I think the switch is the majority of stuff about the switch we covered. So the whole cable process was actually pretty fun. It started with, I think it started like last year, September, October or something. Actually, last year, April, now I think about it, I first started looking. Yeah, it was at the Hong Kong show. So there's like a Hong Kong electronics show, and we're just like looking for new suppliers in general, just to get more the network growing. And we started focusing also a little bit on cable vendors, because that was a vendor that we think, well, at least I thought that would be useful at some point with the Lekker edition also. And then in October or something, I started to talk with a couple of vendors and try to get some cable spec, since we were looking at what the options were and what the MOQs were and the pricing. And there were two vendors we're talking with that time, and it kind of came to a dead end.
Carla, one thing. Winterjas just the other day, Lekker edition.
Oh, We should do like we do a thing if somebody orders a Lekker edition during the stream.
With a Wristrest, so that's nice. Congratulations.
Oh, nice, man. When is the mouse going to be released? Okay, so the cables, um, as soon as we realized that we were going to change the switch and we had to go through this whole mold process and everything, I decided, okay, we need to step it up a notch. And then together with Kevin, we went through a shit ton of different vendors. And we ended
Mm.
up with 3 vendors who made samples, which are here, the 3 samples. So here you see the plastic chip, which, there's, I mean, this was probably flashlighted, so it reflects a lot of light. But this is our, well, 289, Pantone 289 plastic chip, which is our reference color. And here are the 3 samples. You can see the most left sample is much bluer, too light in comparison to the other two. But before we got to this like 3 vendor cables, we were just like we made like we had to go through all the lingo from different vendors, like what does certain stuff mean. They were already throwing like all these kind of abbreviations for stuff that I had no idea what it meant. They were talking and they were like asking for requirements that I had no idea what it meant, no idea what kind of requirements those were. So we kind of figured that stuff out with the first 2 vendors we worked with, and then with some follow-up vendors, and then we were able to make an RFQ, which is a request for quote, and we just listed down the specifications, like what are we looking for. And then we had like a bunch of vendors that came towards us and tried to sell cables to us, and we just now we started asking questions and then narrowing down to just 3 vendors, which gave us a quote, and we just continued with samples. So I'm in this part of the update just making a joke about how consultants usually do this stuff and earn a bunch of money on it. Really basic stuff, but put it in a model and it's worth money. Okay, so we got the cable samples, and Kevin took a look at the colors of the cables, and you could see previously, this is, I think, the really lighter blue one again. That's too light. But here you can see the 2 Pantones we're trying to get. And this is not like the final cable design we're going for yet. We want this Wooting logo to be much smaller. It's way too big now. But this pattern, this is a braided cable, and this pattern is something we're looking to use for the final cable. And then the question was kind of like, okay, how do you differentiate these 3 cables? Like, what is good, what is bad, right? So obviously you can just like bend the cable and connect it to a bunch of stuff and be like, okay, it works, right? But how do you know what is good quality, what's bad quality? So we decided to send everything to Jeroen, and we set up some tester or thought of some tests that we could do. And it ended up with Jeroen buying this like what we refer to like the EMP machine. And this EMP machine basically controls how much ampere and voltage you want to send through the cable. So you can simulate things like a laptop, a power bank, or a keyboard drawing power. And then you can take a look at how much voltage loss there is uh, uh, when it goes through the cable. You can see how much voltage loss there is, and that will also kind of depict what the quality of the cable is. Because the more voltage loss, the lesser quality. So those were one of the things. I mean, you had a couple other things he looked at, but I don't know too many details, technical details about it. But the basic concept was just about see how much voltage loss would be over the length of the cable and compare the 3 of them with our current stock Wooting cable. Then the next step was to take a look at some basic, so here's the test, simple test results. And the next thing was kind of looking at some basic constructions of the cable. So you can literally cut the cables through the middle. I don't think I added a picture here. No, he also basically cut open the headers of the cables to take a look at let's say how do you call that? The little PCB board, like the little PCBA on which the cable is connected to check out the header and see if everything was connected correctly is the first thing. And second thing, if it was correct, if it was installed properly. And also take a look at the header housing, the plastics and the molding shape and see how well that was made. I didn't add a picture to the blog about this, but that's also something he did. But here you can see he cut one of the cables through the middle. You can clearly see that here's the braided stuff. This is your what you'd expect from a regular rubber cable insulation around it. And then here you see the individual cables, which is also insulated by another, I'm just gonna refer to it as rubber. It's actually like a PPPU or something, whatever plastic. And then inside the cable itself is actually copper. So what was interesting that every manufacturer had like its own way of doing it. So one of the manufacturers had like 2 cables inside, but they were thicker, and others had 4 inside. Um, so basically, because I can't say it with 100% confidence, but basically it came down to that um, one, like you need 2 cables for power supply, and you would need another 2 for data transfer. Um, but the cables we got are not made for high speed. Oh no, wait, that's like for high speed data. You could have more cable threading if you want high speed data transfer. But the cables we have are just focused on uh, power transfer and not high speed data transfer. So there's less cables inside. And then sometimes the third one can be ground. But one of them had, for example, ground wrapped around the whole cable. And grounding is interesting. Okay, this is the last part about the cable, because grounding can be done in many different ways in the cable. So grounding basically means to make sure that if there is an electrical surge, so there's a peak in electricity in the cable, somehow it can exit the cable or exit, like release um, that surge, to put it that way. And otherwise, if there's a leak in the cable, that it's able to release that electricity and not blow up your device or the cable itself. Um, so some of them, what they do is they have like a small foil wrapped around the cable here, and that's connected to the 2 metal headers, and that's how it grounds. Another one had like a cable threaded around the cables and connected to the headers to ground it. So they also had their different techniques. And it ended up with like still having some open questions about the construction, and now we're just asking a few questions and then we can finalize the vendor. I went very deep into the cables because I find it really interesting. Do you know, could you mold most? No, that's nice. But yeah, these cables are also compatible with other keyboards, right? Yes. So the cable is compatible with any keyboard really. There's it is a USB 2.0 cable. So that means the that's what, when you come back to the data transfer stuff, for 2.0 you don't need to have high speed data transfer. And for the keyboard, you don't need high-speed data transfer either. So these are not like cables you'd use for a hard disk, for example, or like an external hard drive or something. These are just cables you'd use to power up devices and do basic device connections. And a lot of devices don't need a lot of data transfer. So this is applicable for almost every device. It's just that when you specifically want to do something with an external hard drive or something a lot more demanding, I guess, which involves data transfer and not like communication necessarily, then this is not the cable you'd want to use. Yeah. Will it have actual USB-C compliance? Yes, it will. So the cable vendors that we went for, one of the requirements was also that they all had their CE certification. They at least had their cables, what is it called, EMI tested. And I think not all of them necessarily. I need to double check that, but some of them are also part of the USB Council or something. There's like another certificate that you can have, but that's kind of like a certificate. Okay, so the Lekker switch we talked about the majority we already covered in the previous live stream, and I really recommend to read the blog about the Switch also if you don't know anything about it yet. But we basically received the new Lekker Switch, and the new Lekker Switch has the new bottom case. So let's see, we have a couple of good renders here, I think. Okay, well, anyway, this is the sample picture. It's not what it will look like as final. You see that later. It has a new bottom case, which will allow hot swapping the Switch. We changed the bottom case material from PC to nylon. So because nylon is a much better, I didn't change this though. Didn't make a picture. I thought it was funny now. Okay. Yeah. But nylon is a much better material also for hot swapping because it can wear and tear much better than PC can. PC will break in piece more in like bigger chunks, while nylon will slowly deteriorate from hot swapping. So the second thing is what kind of hot swapping method we went for. So this is a standard cherry switch, and I like to call this like the swan hook system. So this kind of looks like a swan shape when you look at the head of a swan. And when you click it into the plate, these two hooks make sure that you can't easily pull it out of the plate. It's actually a combination of two things. One is like the size of the cutout and the size of the housing. So if they are closely fit together, the cutout will already kind of clamp onto the housing of the switch. And the second thing is the hooks will expand underneath the plate, which will make sure that it has a tighter fit and you can't just pull it out. So if you want to pull out the switch, you usually have to push in here, which pulls back the hook, which lowers the amount of kilos you need to use to pull it out. But it's never the case that they're like fit in loose and just thanks to the hook it can't get out or something. It's the hook increases the amount of force you need to use to pull it out. So this is a render of what will be the final Lekker switch, and already also has the new bottom casing. It was a bit easier to use this than making actual pictures of the bottom case. So you can see that. So we'll start using nylon material, and that nylon material will make milky, or yeah, I like to call it milky.
Cloud. I think it's more cloudy.
Cloudy,
Milky
yeah,
is
cloudy can work. Yeah.
cloudy. Cloudy, yeah.
So this
Cloudy, yeah,
allows, this allows for a good RGB spread, just like we'd want it on the PC one. But how would you say that? How do you say that again? It doesn't dim the light. It like spreads the light better. No, it's like makes the light softer. Like in with studio lights, you have like what's it called?
softboxes,
Yeah, like a softbox,
diffusers,
but it has a name. The thing, not
diffuser.
just diffuser, right? So it works like a diffuser, basically. Versus with PC, it's so transparent that you can see the LED bulb, basically. Well, this has more of a diffusing effect where it makes the light softer and spread around. Okay, so the key point is here we have a different click system. So this is what I think I just called it, oh here, the big triangle hook system. It has no name, like I have to just make up whatever.
The reverse gooseneck. Inverted gooseneck. Oh.
Diffused, I mean. Yeah, the inverted gooseneck. Yeah, or the retarded goose.
Retarded goose.
So you can see here, basically, I have to say first, this is not like a new way of doing a click system. This has already been used in different other switches. But it's specifically something we need to use for our switch, and I think it would be the best for our switch. And we didn't want to reinvent the wheel of how hot swapping works. That would be really dumb. Or at least for us, it would be really dumb because we don't have enough experience yet, and we're not, professional mechanical engineers. So we go with what is already proven to work. And what you can see here is like you also have the hook, just like the swan, the swan hook. You have a really big hook. So that means it has a lot more contact surface with the top plate once you've clicked it in, and makes it a lot more difficult to just pull it out. And then you have this big wall above it. And if you push the wall inwards, and you can see here, this is, for example, the LED spacing, you can push the wall inwards. It also retracts the hook inside, which decreases the amount of force you need to use to pull it out. The thing though is that in reality, you're not able to, because this has an open space, and it has an open space for the LED light to to shine through. And the top case, this is kind of like a design technical issue at the moment, which we don't want to change now. But basically, the top case doesn't cover this area. In theory, we could have made the top case could have been bigger and covered this area also. And because it's PC and transparent, the LED could have just gone through. But as soon as we change the top case to different material like nylon, you're going to get an issues because it covers the LED area. So it's kind of like a compromise. But the problem that I'm getting to is that with a puller, you can't just like push this wall in. It's you can't get a good grip on it. So instead, what you do, the puller grips onto the housing here, and then on the other side, it pushes in the wall. And that
Hmm.
already gives you enough leverage and decreases the amount of force you need to use to pull out the switch. Now, there's a lot more involved when it comes to like this whole hot swapping stuff, because the cutout of the switch plate, if that one is smaller or bigger, will dramatically influence how much force you need to use to pull out the switch. And because we want the switch to also be used not only in Wooting keyboards, but in general in other keyboards also, we kind of need to make a compromise where the switch is not perfect for only the Wooting keyboard, and it will not be perfect for all keyboards, but it will definitely be either really sturdy, a little bit difficult to pull out, just about right, or a little bit too easy to pull out. And this is kind of something that we're going to experience. But for the Wooting keyboard, it's tight in a good way. Yeah, but it does take a little bit more
Okay,
force to pull it out. Yeah.
nice. I think we should move on to the last topic, although the open. Jesus, what's happening here? The open Q&A.
Okay. I don't know if there's any questions. Were there any questions about the Lekker edition?
Yes, are these switches reverse compatible? Asks Operation Monochrome.
Is reverse compatible mean like, can you install it on a Flartech keyboard?
I think that's what he means, but the answer is no.
Yeah, so the switches will only work on, in this case for now, right now it only works on the Lekker edition keyboard, but basically you need to have a magnetic sensing keyboard, and the magnet sensor needs to be placed underneath the magnet of the switch. And right in what that means in practice is right now the Wooting 2 Lekker edition is the only keyboard this switch will work with right now. Because you need to make the PCBA inside the keyboard needs to fit with the switch. It's not like the switch has everything inside. Oh yeah, so that was it. It was the question. Yeah, yeah. So why it doesn't work with Wooting 1, Wooting 2 Flartech switches, switch keyboard is because the technology is entirely different. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it was also a returning question, right? Something about mice, computer mouse,
Right. It's the secret project stuff, right?
secret project stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think, uh, well, wait, let me mention the coronavirus stuff. I do have to mention that if I compare it to last week, we now have a couple of vendors that got back to work. We are able to progress in some very, very basic things, but when it comes to, let's say, opening a mold for the switch, that's not going to be possible until start of March, for example. When it comes to placing an order to do something, it's not going to be possible until question mark. Only a lot of the factories that got back to work, if they have maybe only 10% of their total of all the employees are back at work again. 10%, because nobody can get back to the factory. So actually, the stuff that I've been saying, I said it also in the blog. I think this is going to be a big issue, and that's what's happening right now. A lot of people can't get to work also because they're isolated or stuck in the city they live. Because when it was Chinese New Year, they went to their families, and their families live much further away from their work, and they all travel, they migrate all to their families, and now they're stuck there. They can't go back to wherever they work. And the second issue already also is that even though some people might live in the same area as their working place, they're too afraid to go to work. Um, so it's yeah, it's a growing issue, and it's really questionable what there what if I don't know how much people are catching up to, but you could say this is that right now the issues are still manageable and we're all fine. But this is kind of the thing that it happens now, but the ultimate effect is noticed like 2 months or 3 months down the line. Because you're talking about production level, and usually there's like a 3 month turn rate before it gets to like end user level. So get ready, guys, because you're definitely going to feel the impact of the coronavirus. Like most definitely, it's already impacting small stuff right now. Looks like it's not going to get back to full capacity very soon. You're going to feel the impact.
Sadly enough.
Yeah, if you're planning to buy anything, better buy it now because it's not going to get any cheaper. Like a wrist vest. Um, I'm, I just, I don't know if this is a question. Oh, I'm really interested in buying a keyboard with Lekker switches, but I'll be honest, the Lekker Edition color scheme really isn't my thing. Will there be a full-size keyboard later this year with the same switches? I could perhaps buy normally colored keycaps later, but that seems like a bit of a waste of the quality Lekker keycaps. Yeah, so after Lekker Edition, Wooting 2 Lekker Edition, we will most definitely also make a Wooting 2 with Lekker switches and look at making more keyboards with Lekker switches. But those obviously will come after we've delivered the Wooting 2 Lekker Edition. And the whole point for the Lekker Edition and it being a limited edition is also to support the project in its totality, in its total. So if we did not have the Lekker Edition running, we would have also not been able to fund the whole project and do the Lekker switch. So everybody that's joining on, let's say, everybody that bought and is planning to buy a Lekker Edition, those are people that are really supporting like the whole financial aspect also of running this project, which is a great help. But obviously, if you're not financially able to do that, then you shouldn't, and you just wait until there's a right moment for you. Can Lekker's DQS activation distance be controlled? So unlike the Wooting 2, so in theory, yes, and yeah, and we will, like now it's a bit too far because it's not on a software roadmap yet, and we still need to discuss what we want to do when it comes to Lekker Edition or Lekker Switch functionalities and features. But in theory, this is possible, and if we were able to do it like this, oh, new future, we would definitely do it. But
Well, it's interesting because in the past you could manipulate it with DKS, but then you couldn't add that many keys, and because you want to store everything on the keyboard, so you can bring it wherever you go, and then it still will be compatible without installing additional software. After lots of consideration and feedback, and also looking at it, we sort of realized is that people don't actually use it that often. So that's why we changed it to fixed points.
Yeah, but part of that is also just that the analog range on the FlareTech switch is not large enough to have a significant to make a significant difference.
True. Okay. Open source utility when, or at least uncompressed and
Wait, mark this open session. That
That's
was
already
Lekker Edition stuff. That was Lekker Edition stuff. Now we have open session. You can still have Lekker Edition questions, but now we're going to start the open session.
okay.
Final part of the live stream.
Open source
Mark
utility
this.
when, or at least uncompressed, unobfuscated up.assa when. I don't know what up.assa is. That's probably a good thing. Open source utility when? I don't think it will happen soon, right? The open source utility.
No, it will not happen soon. It's discussion that comes back every time, and I assume Fraser is also in the chat, right? He also knows this is a discussion that always comes back, and we've gone through like the answers multiple times. And if I need to like say it in a nutshell, it will come down to that. Periodically, we will reassess if this is the right moment to open source the utility. And until so far, the right moment has not been there yet. And there's a lot of reasons to why it's not the right moment to open source that is not related to a proprietary thing and not related to, I don't know, a financial thing. Something is also about the amount of, let's say, work and dedication necessary and a change in philosophy in the way of working and doing work on the utility when going to open source. There's like a lot more that comes to it than just open sourcing it.
Let's go to the next question, and then we'll get back to the other topic. Apennootjes. Oh, by the way, is there any reason for not including a euro sign on the keycaps? Usually the 5. I think you're looking at the US ANSI version, right? And by default, the US ANSI version doesn't have a euro sign there. That's it.
I guess it's on like an ISO German or UK that has it there.
On some layouts from us have it on a keyboard to euro sign, but not all. It depends what like the default is for the region.
Because if you're in the Netherlands and you would have bought an ISO keyboard, it's usually an US ISO or it's like an international English ISO. And if it's like an international English ISO, there's a good chance they put the euro sign on the 5. And it's also a slightly different layout from US international.
Yes.
Or sorry, US ISO.
Yeah. The Dutch default layout should have that. Well, there isn't like there is a Dutch ISO layout, but there's nobody in the Netherlands who uses it.
No.
Literally no one.
Maybe some office keyboards that have it.
Some very obscure
membrane office keyboards, yeah. And then BigBrain, I'd be happy with you guys just not compressing the JS files. Right now, I'm a little bit unsure if it's something on purpose or not on purpose, but there is definitely some reasons for us to not fully, let's say, for compressing those JS files in general. Jeroen would have a better answer to it. But if you look at, for example, our full programmability, right? We've spent 3 months, much longer on making it. But let's say it's taken.
Wow.
It's not like 3 months nonstop, right? But in general, for the working speed that we are able to do things, right? At the working speed we're able to do things at this moment, it's definitely taken like 3 months before we've gotten to this point. 3 or 4 months. But the whole full programmability stuff is an idea that's been generated over a span of a year or something, how we'd wanted to do it. And Jeroen investigating how to implement it. And that's sorry, that's a big investment. I thought you wanted to add something, but that's a big investment from our side. see.
Okay, more Euro sign stuff on other keywords. I prefer the unslayered. I've got an old Logitech G15. Who doesn't have a Logitech G15 at one point in his or her life? Everybody had a G15. It's so insane.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine how many keywords they must have sold? Because almost everybody I know from my age had a G15 at some point. It's insane.
Yeah. And the answer for Quinn is software work. Which software work? Yeah. Yeah. Scariest thing is like it's funny because it's if I think about it, let's say if we would be running keywords of GMK or a QMK, for example, let's say we're running keywords of QMK, right? There would be like literally, in my opinion, literally no point in making your own, or not no point, but almost, yeah, it will make no sense for me as a keyword maker to make your entire own configurator. You might just open source the whole configurator because there's nothing to earn on the configurator except for making like separating yourself from the herd. But if you're going to run QMK, you're never going to separate yourself from the herd by making your own configurator. Versus what we're doing is, okay. I'm opening up the discussion box. I don't want to open this discussion box. Okay.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yes.
I already revived it a few times, but I think it's really on its last legs now. And you talk about the G15. Well, my G15 is still working though.
You have it? Oh, you have it at the office, don't you?
I have that off, yeah. Yeah, only the LCD screen isn't working anymore, but the rest is like, it even has like the macros on there. Still. Pretty cool. Pretty sick.
The Guild Wars Wooting macro.
No, not gonna talk about scroll wheels. This is a scroll wheel free live stream. Basta.
Basta. Even the secret project, we can't talk about the secret project, but we can say that it's not a mouse, right?
It's not a mouse. We're not.
Oh, is it? It's not a mouse? I thought it was a mouse. It's not a mouse. We're not working on a mouse. We're not ready for mice.
No.
I can tell you now, whatever you think it is, you're wrong. You're never going to guess.
Nah.
There's only a few people that know.
I think a few people could know it.
Yeah.
A few people will
But
know.
obviously you have to shut your mouth if you know.
Like, if you think you really know it, then you probably know it. But if you have to guess, then you're never gonna guess it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, it's not some, but I can tell you now, it's like, well, we have actually, obviously we don't just have one project running. Well, kind of wish we, yeah. No, I shouldn't go too much more into it. It's, let's say that this is it's an idea that's developed over some time, and we feel it's a pretty cool idea and fun to try, and it has the same skill as doing wrist rests. When you look at the
Very
skill
small,
of the project.
very low impact.
Yeah, it's like a fun project. It's something we can really use in fun ways. Yeah, and it will have a specific market, but at the same time, you don't necessarily need to be the target group to get a lot of value out of it. And
Wooting sandals. Yeah, Quinn guessed it. Okay, it's out. Yeah.
oh
Sandals.
no!
Jesus Christ, what a shame.
And I guess, and what is very important for us is this one we're going to try to make entirely in Taiwan. It's also part of separating.
So this is very interesting. Praetorian says it. Anyway, 15 euro shipping Wristrest from the Netherlands, $10 shipping from the USA for a gaming chair. What you probably don't realize is you probably paid for shipping a few times within because the chair has a very big margin. It's pretty expensive. And the same goes for our keyboards, right? So for the keyboards, there's also free shipping, but that's just because we, deduct the shipping from our product margin. And on the Wristrest, there's just so little margin to earn. So let's say we would give free shipping to I don't know, Finland on a Wristrest, then we're actually losing money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the
no,
shipping is pretty expensive.
literally,
Yeah.
yeah. The Wristrest price right now, if we would have to price the Wristrest in a normal setting, normal margins for this, I don't know if I should say this industry because it's pretty fucked with all those Chinese listing a bunch of really, really cheap shit, garbage quality on Amazon. But in, let's say, a normal situation, the Wristrest price should be at the very minimum $35. Best would be $40. That should be the Wristrest price, $40. But we're selling it for $30. Um,
Because we're cool kids. We hate money.
yeah.
Blah. Oh, Carl, can you also make us big again? Because I don't like being small, Erik, anymore. I'm
Oh,
done being
right,
small,
sorry.
Erik.
Yeah, let's change scene here. Hey, Big Egg. I mean, in total, 27 euro, 15 euro ship for isn't serious. Well, uh, I mean, I said this before. I said it also in the beginning of this, James. So it's exactly what Eric says, right? By the way, I can confirm by the way Quinn says $400 gaming chair where 70-80% is profit. That's absolutely true. We can, if we wanted to, we can literally buy 100 gaming chairs, like MOQ 100 piece, okay? And one gaming chair is maybe like $80. And then you can sell it for, between 250 and $400. I think for
With
just
your
80.
own logo and extra pillow.
Yeah.
Like
Gaming
everything.
chairs, the biggest rip off ever. Um, so okay. Okay, and
No, and
then
we didn't announce a new product. We're just saying we're working on something secret, what nobody will guess what kind of product it is.
yeah, we're teasing about about this project we're working on.
Yeah, but
Obviously,
it's
yeah, we can do this. I need a new chair. Well, maybe what would be a lot of fun. Well, I think the difficult part about doing gaming chairs is the initial logistics, I guess, because it does have a bigger box, but at the same time, it's not such a big deal. What we can do is
okay.
with our B brand,
Is
do
there a
gaming
discount
chairs,
on the Wristrest
$150.
with the Lekker pre-order? Let's say you ordered now a Lekker edition already and you want to include a wristwatch with it. You will get a discount, but you have to wait a few more days before we uh, inform everybody about it because we need to invent some back-end things to make it actually work. But if you haven't pre-ordered the Lekker edition yet and you want to order it together with the wristwatch, if you do it, you will automatically get a 10% discount on the wristwatch. Yes.
Yeah. Victorian says, wait, the product was an example. I pay less for a different product. Well, so the simple thing, if you look in the US, for example, shipping is $8. We pay a little bit more for the whole warehouse and shipping together, but you could say that $8 is normal in the US for that package size. But in Europe, um, if we ship in Europe, it's this nice thing where parcel shipments have like a flat rate. Like there is no, oh, your parcel is this size or this weight. So then you have a cheaper price because it's smaller. No, it's more like there's a maximum of this size with a maximum of, I don't know, 30 kilos or something. Um, and that is just fixed for every country has its own rate, and that's also within the Netherlands, for example. And the only thing that can be smaller than that is sending post or documents or like really small stuff. If we would send a puller, for example, we can throw it into like a postage or something. That would be cheaper, but still flat rate. The only courier that could make a difference in this type of shipping is a company like DHL. They would have cheaper shipping for smaller product weight sizes, but that is also very country dependent. And what kind of contract do you have with DHL? Because standard DHL rates more expensive than postage rates. So I challenge you. I challenge you to post the Wristrest to us for a cheaper shipping rate than we are offering on our store. And I will in Europe, within Europe, and that is just not possible. And that makes it also so the alternative would have been, say, the Wristrest is 40 euros and shipping becomes for free or maybe just 5 euros. But effectively, you would pay the same.
But then again, like we mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, we are looking into this and we're searching for different solutions. And one of those solutions will be selling it on Amazon in the countries or on different stores within that country. Yeah. So we have a little warehouse there or it's on stock there. But that's something that will probably happen or soon or later this year. Yeah.
Big Bang's question is for Erik and Jeroen.
Huh?
Jeroen needs to look at that one.
True.
I think there's just one piece that I need to ship from my side, probably. Big Brain, we're going to take forever on it. That's the answer. We're never going to ship it. Usually we'd ship it from we'd ship it from Taiwan, and my wife would do I have a bunch of replacement parts in the house for RMAs and whatever replacement stuff that needs to be sent, but we're running out of stock, and usually my wife would just grab it together and ship it, and it would be there in like maybe 3 weeks or something. At by the way, at cheaper rates than shipping from Europe, from Taiwan.
Jesus Christ, that's so
like
insane.
much cheaper. But we're running out of stuff, and now we literally need to get it from salvaging from keyboards, like new keyboards, or from return keyboards. So yeah, and it's impossible now to get more replacement parts because of the whole virus stuff.
There's always something we can use as sort of, how would you say it? As an issue. There's always like an issue lingering, whether it's Chinese New Year, the coronavirus, customs, It's never our fault. It's always like something externally that screws us over.
Well, the part of our fault here is that it's taking forever because nobody really wants to do it. Like usually it's done this way. It can't happen because of issue X, so it needs to be done in a different way. And nobody's like, oh, let's get it done with. Yeah.
So like every live stream, like, oh my God, what am I gonna tell about the Wristrest? Because the children still in China were too lazy to put it on a boat. I'll just say it's on the way to the customs, and we're just gonna do that for 2 or 3 months. And then, now the virus comes. Oh, that's even more convenient. We can blame the virus. God, did you start shipping it already? No.
Well, I mean, if we would blame ourselves, then at best it would be looking at the amount of time it maybe sometimes takes to finalize a decision, maybe, and push through on something that we could push through earlier. But that's also remote work, time zone. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now we're gonna get some interesting. Eric, I know you're doppelganger in real life. It's scary. Send us a profile picture of this Eric or Facebook link. We need to investigate this.
Pictures. We need pictures.
We need pictures, else it didn't happen.
By the way, is there going to be an RGB firmware fix? Wait, what kind of RGB firmware fix are you talking about? What kind of issue?
Has to do with the Chroma Connect?
It's always Chinese New Year. How come it's Chinese New Year every day of the year? Chinese New Year in general, like I think it doesn't matter how much you prepare, there's always going to be some trouble. Yeah.
My keyboard is laggy if it's not the analog profile.
That sounds like a weird issue and still not very clear. Are you working on a Mac or on Windows? I can think of one thing maybe. In either case, it's Windows. TFAVV is correct. That's the best place to try to find out what the issue is. From what I'm able to see here, it's not something very common or lot or something that I've seen before. So,
but just ask on Discord and Rocky will solve your issue for sure.
Rocky solves no, but Rocky is not available now. Don't bother Rocky now. Rocky needs to focus. Rocky needs to focus on his I don't know what to call it exactly. It's like his thesis. He needs to finalize his masters. Rocky needs to focus. Don't disturb him.
Okay. Yeah. I think we should end it here, caller.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
So if we say goodbye, then Reddit has like 30 seconds until we can share a picture or a Facebook profile from Doppelganger, als het not exist. And that's it. Nice t-shirt you have there, Calder.
Yeah, right. I really hope other people can start using Lekker Switch keyboards. I'm settled. I'm done.
Oh,
I have my demo
firmware
firmware and software.
PCBs, right?
Huh?
You has the Lekker PCBs, right? And I have like a non-working Lekker keyboard. Did you know what Jeroen brought me last Wednesday?
Nothing.
The new Lekker switches.
Oh, really?
Still PCB. Where's my PCB?
Oh my God. It's good that you have the switches because we should have actually talked about the switch today.
That's...
Yeah.
I mean,
And you know what?
look like me?
Hey, you want to see a secret?
What's the secret?
In here. No. Oh no. Okay. No, never mind. My wife apparently ruined the test recently.
That's a shame, man.
Yeah, it's the LED test. It's running over a month, which apparently now is not running anymore. But all the LEDs are fine.
Okay, all I can say, Red Hub, you have a very, very beautiful friend. He's stunning. Most handsome man I've ever seen.
Hyping up for Wooting Up 2020. I'm coming to the Netherlands earlier, maybe. Maybe we need to have Woot Up earlier.
Oh, we're gonna do it in Gothenburg this year, right?
Oh shit.
When Woot Up 2020? Well, I mean, Quinn is the main organizer of the Woot Ups, right? So let Quinn figure it out in the backstage, and then we'll know when it's happening.
We'll quickly find out. But you're not doing it in Wuhan. I mean, I heard the conference rooms are really cheap now, and the traffic is There's almost no traffic, so
Woot Up 2020. I'm excited for Woot Up 2020. I'm excited for Woot Up.
okay.
We will figure out when and where how we get there. Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining us this Friday. Hope you guys had a blast. Don't forget to follow us because you only need 41 people to follow us. And then we have 2K followers.
On Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh wow. How many people are watching right now?
37. So if these 37 all follow us, then it's a done deal. Okay.
Okay. Then,
Anyway,
everything you can see the whole stream
watching.
back on YouTube, thanks to Not Daryl in the Twitch chat here, with timestamps in the description. And then see you guys in the next stream. Bye bye.
Bye bye.